Welcome to the presentation of Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Bahja Salsabila. Today, I will be moderate in this. Today, let me check the presenter. Amalia Nur Azizah, Arisha Putri, Alif Ardi Andreas, Elda Nabila, and Nada Sofa Kamila. Okay, I think the presenter are complete. Let's start our presentation today by reciting Al-Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, for the center will be delivered by me. So let me share my screen. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Putri Bahja Salsabila. From class A, my student number are 22232000030. Today, I will deliver my presentation about my paper with the title, The Influence of Question and Answer Method on Student Critical Thinking Ability in Mastering English. Okay, the main point that I'm bring in this is about introduction. The second one is methodology, and the last about the result. Okay, we move to the first section about the background. The question and answer method is a teaching method that allows for direct communication that traffic, because at the same time, there is dialogue between the teacher and student. The teacher asks the student to answer, or the student asks the teacher to answer. In this question, there is a direct reciprocal relationship between teacher and student. In this, to think critically, and students are taught to learn actively. With the activeness of students in asking and answering, ability to think critically will naturally grow, where this critical thinking skill will be very beneficial for students. So researchers realized that we need to improve the learning process. One of the efforts that may be made is to use the question and answer technique, because with the aid of this question and answer method, students are invited to assume that be capable of to question given with the aid of the teacher. Based on the phenomenon, the researcher is interested in conducting a scientific research in the form of an article with the title, The Influence of the Question and Answer Method on Student Critical Thinking Ability in Mastering English. Okay, we move based on the background that has the problems in this study is there any effect of the application of the question and answer method on students in learning? And then best presentation of the problem state above. The purpose was to determine the effect of the question and answer method on student critical thinking skill in learning. Okay. Next, second question, it is about the literature review. In the paper, researchers are explained about definition of critical thinking skill, purpose of skill, definition of Q&A method, purpose of Q&A method, and advantage or disadvantage of Q&A method. But the main point is first about critical thinking skill. Thinking is an activity that humans always do. And they are asleep for the brain. Thinking out solving problem is the most important work. Even with unlimited abilities, the ability to think critically is one we use to solve life problem by thinking carefully in analyzing all the information they receive by including rational reason so that every action they take is correct. So in critical thinking, it is not only thinking as a mental activity, but also researching using evidence and rules. And the second one, it is about question and answer method. In the world of education, the method is a comprehensive presentation, systematic sequence based on its. So the method is a way of carrying out work. Therefore, from an approach to several methods, the question and answer method is a lesson building technique where the teacher and student are active. The teacher gives student question, answer it, or it can be the other. Student ask question and the teacher answer. This activity can make student more active and can encourage student curiosity. Okay. The next one, we move to the framework of thinking. A flow chart of the framework is as follows. We focus on English learning with the main point critical thinking and a method. There is of the Q&A method on student critical thinking skill. And hypothesis 1, there is an effect of the Q&A method on student critical thinking skill. We do research and gain the data, then we analyze it and get the finding. Move to the third section, it is about the methodology. Okay, type of research. This research is the strategy due to the fact and its implementation includes information, application, and interpretation of the meaning and data obtained. Quantitative studies such as at the philosophy of positivism that use defining a certain population as sample that objective to examine the. And then the population in the study were students at the English Department of Untirta. The sample in the study is 6 students in class A. For this research use questionnaire as research instrument. As we know, questionnaire is information series containing questions that are asked, inviting to someone or group of people to get answer or this research the list of questions is established within the shape of multiple choice, yes or no question. And then in the study, researchers use this technique. This is an activity in researching and compiling quantitative data that has been gained from the application of research instruments, which are arranged so that the data can be described and a conclusion that is easily understood by one and others. And then for the reliability test, researchers use Cronbach alpha in the reliability test. Cronbach alpha is a to describe the correlation or relationship between and all existing variable skills. The instrument used within the variable is said to be determinable if it has a Cronbach alpha of extra than 0.6. So if the Cronbach alpha value more than 0.6, then the questionnaire is declared reliable or constant. But if the Cronbach alpha value less than 0.6, the questionnaire is right. We move to the last section. It's about the result. All statements were asked to 26 participants from one area of Untirta. Plus questionnaire contains 2 multiple answers to get the right answer based on the response and no. To tabulate the data collected from participants, the research applied the Cronbach alpha consistency test as the first case operation. The result was sent below. Primarily based on the above, the researchers were given 0.882 as a result of the consistency of Cronbach alpha. In brief, it is also be concluded that the variable considering there may be any impact of the question and answer on student critical studying English with 12 short declaration include regular. Okay. Here is the first table of the statement. According to the result, 65.4% of students will study together because it boosts their self-confidence and can. In addition, 65.4% of students indicate that Q&A methods have increased their ability to understand. And then, however, 76.9% of students report that learning English using Q&A method increased the motivation for studying. In addition, 76.9% said that utilizing Q&A method in English learning made it more fun. Okay, next it is the according to the question opinion of the effect of Q&A method. 65.4% of students who did English learning with the Q&A method help increase their learning speed. 76.9% of students faster when they learn English using Q&A method, and 57.7% of students prefer Q&A method so that they can be speaking. According to this data, 65.4% of people do not find it difficult to respond in English to some of the teacher queries, with a result of 6.2%. English learning using the Q&A method help pupils. And then the survey findings showed that 70.9% of students who learn English with because it increases the motivation to learn, increases critical thinking, and helps them improve their speaking skills. With a finding of 69.2%, students who use Q&A method to learn English are more likely to think critically. And the finding also revealed that 80.8% of students were able to enhance their speaking abilities while they studied remotely using Q&A method. Okay, last, it's about the conclusion of my paper. Considering the finding and discussion above, using Q&A method as provide a number of advantages. The method make it easier for students to, since it is quick and extremely practical. With the question and answer method, there is an increased ability to think critically in students as research at 0.882, as can be seen from the result of the consistency of Cronbach alpha. In short, it can be concluded that the variable regarding there is any effect of the question and answer method of on student critical thinking skill in learning English. It's 12 an item, and it can conclude that this one is true with the statement there is an effect of using Q&A method on critical thinking skill in 6th semester of student class A in English department on data. I think enough for my presentation. Thank you for your attention and sorry for my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For the next presenter, Elda Nabila, the time is yours.
Baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Elden Abdullah from Class A with student number 22232000035. And now I'd like to present my paper entitled The Use of Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak Application for Beginners to Learn English Vocabulary. So, as we know, English is one of the world's most widely used languages for a variety of reasons. In many places of the world, English has the potential to become the dominant language in education and industry. Learning to speak and write English proficiently is seen as a valuable talent. English is important for us to get more information from around the world through books, websites, and more contents from various platforms exist that written or made from another country. Since Indonesia considers English as foreign language, we need to learn harder because we do not know much and we don't use it daily in our activities before. And now English subject becomes one of subjects at school. Besides learn English at school, we could learn it through digital sources such as an online learning application. When beginners would like to learn English, it should be started from the basic level. The first thing that would be learned is usually vocabulary. An online vocabulary learning application made us easier to learn English whenever and wherever we are practically. So here the statement of the problem. Do user would like to use the Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application after they knew the advantages and disadvantages of the application to train their vocabulary ability. So here is the literature review about language, English language, about learning, about vocabulary, about mobile application, and about Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application itself. It is the education application that only available in Play Store, which is dedicated for Android user only. And this application has 4.6 star rates and already downloaded by 20,000 users. And it could use for the beginners if you study from the age of 3. And the developer is launched for kids. This application is free to download. And here is my methodology. The qualitative technique was applied in this study. The participants were 12 adults in their 20s. 9 of them are female, and 3 of whom were male, chosen at random from varied situations such as young employees and college students. There are 25% from English department, 16.7% from the young employees, and 8.3% from each of the following majors, such as science education, Islamic education, management, computer science, communication science, Al-Quran, tafsir science, and administration. The data in this study employed questionnaires, interview, and observation to achieve triangulation and verify the integrity and validity of the data. And the data was gathered through the distribution of an online questionnaire, monitoring all the processes that occur, and an observation in which respondents were asked to download and utilize the program. For the data analysis, the data acquired from the search, they evaluated synchronously statements regarding the program and their experience using it, contents in the application, premises, performance, and difficulty of the application are appropriate in this purposes. And we provide 3 statements. They're already answered by the first one is the participants are active English learner. 50% said yes and 50% said no. The second one is the participants' interest in learning English. 83.3% say yes and 16.7% say perhaps. And the third statement, the participants knew the basic of English vocabulary. 91.7% said yes, and 8.3% said perhaps. And by asking how important the basic of English vocabulary, 100% believe that learning basic English vocabulary is really important because by having a broad vocabulary, we are able to understand word by word, sentence by sentence, and paragraph by paragraph. By mastering the basic English vocabulary, we could more easily learn the next stage. Moreover, in current era of digital globalization, English is a connector for people around the world. Then English is important if we meet foreigners in our area or when we are abroad. Last but not least, it is crucial when we would like to listen, read, or watch contents from another country that do not provide Indonesian translation. So there are participants who download and tried Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application. There are 90% of participants enjoy the application. The ability the participant got from the application are vocabulary, listening and speaking, and then writing and reading. There are 91% respondents agree that Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application improve their English ability because there are new vocabularies for them in the application that is easy to understand, which make their vocabulary gain. And there are improvement of the vocabulary, speaking, reading, and listening, also writing. And this application is able to motivate 100% respondents to learn English because it is interesting, visual. The materials start from the most basic level. The digital format is easy to access, and learning English could be anywhere and anytime. The advantages of Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application are easy to understand, easy to access and use, a lot of vocabulary available, and variety of features that are fun to use. This application is like playing a game that makes children not bored to learn new vocabulary. For the application disadvantages, the respondent hope that the view of the application could be more attractive, the content is more complete, and to reduce the advertisement. Furthermore, there are 41% participants who like to continue using this application and perhaps for another 58%. According to the participants' response, there are 25% rate for 3 scale, and then 4 scale, 3 and 5 scale for the system quality and also for the material or content quality of the application. After view the result of the questionnaire response, we could say that learning English is crucial for many people around the world, especially for Z generation in Indonesia. Young adults start to learn English and use it for their education and work life. And to learn English, we could start from learn the vocabulary first, the alphabet, numbers, etc. And young adult could use Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application to learn vocabulary. To learn English nowadays, we also could use smartphone because it provides many good learning applications that is more practical for us to learn English vocabulary anytime, anywhere. Even though the name of the application is for kids, researchers thought that young adult as beginner could also use this application because this application's topics are neat and well organized. And the result indicates that people in the trainees already know the basic vocabulary of English, and even there are not an English major students. They are already interested to learn English by themselves. And this application is suitable for beginners and children who would like to learn English vocabulary independently through technology media. So to conclude, after doing the investigation, the researcher came to the conclusion that understanding English is crucial for many individuals all around the world. Young adults begin to study and utilize English at school and at work. We might start learning English by the first knowing the terminology to acquire vocabulary. Young adults could utilize the Bahasa Inggris untuk Anak application to learn English. We may also use smartphone because it has many effective learning programs that make it more convenient for us to learn English anytime and from any location. Despite the fact that the application name suggests for children, Visitors believe that young adults who are just starting out could benefit from it because the teams are neat and well organized. That is all from my presentation. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for the second speaker. And the next is the third speaker, Alif Ardi Andreas. It's yours.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Alif Ardi Andreas. I'm from class 6A and today I will present about my paper. The title of my paper is The Effect of Online Media as the Main Instrument Learning on the English Student Comprehension. Okay, the abstract is the study goal was to investigate in further detail how online media affect English student comprehension. The population that the research addressed in writing this research for English student at Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University. And with so many English students at English Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, the researchers choose a sample and giving a questionnaire to 35 English students in class A in the 6th semester. Okay, first is introduction. The industrial 4.0 era expansion of information and communication technology has substantial effect for the educational process. Teachers have improved educational quality by using the availability of access to technology. One of the most recent technological advancement is the utilization of the area of classroom instruction internet media as an instrument during the act of learning and teaching English. Next is research question. And the question is there any effect of learning using online media on the English student comprehension? Next is literature review. Bambang Warsita 2008, cited Anderson 1987 in this article. Learning media and learning aids are the two types of media. Educator or teacher can utilize tool or learning aids to help pupils grab the information being provided. Consequently, learning aids are often preferred to as a teaching aids. Next is characteristic of learning media. First is educational media has a physical understanding hardware, which is anything that are audible or tactical utilizing the 5 senses. Next is the term of educational media, also known as software, refers to a non-physical concept, namely the content stored in hardware that is intended to be communicated to pupils. C is visual and oral component are prioritized in instructional media. And next is both with and outside of the classroom, educational media offer resources for the learning process. Next is definition of comprehension. According to Nana Sujana 2004, comprehension may be split into 3 levels. The lowest level of translation is translation comprehension, which begin with literal translation. The second step is interpretative comprehension, which involves linking the previous known portions with the next known section of the graph, or connecting specific element of the graph with event or order to identify the subject from the non-subject. Extrapolate comprehension is the third and greatest level. Extrapolation implies a person may see beyond what is written, make prediction regarding repercussion, or broaden perception in terms of time, dimension, case, or difficulties. Next is types of online learning media. First is visual based on learning media, and the example is Google Classroom, Sidekick, and Libby. And second is application to create visual interactive learning media, and the example is Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slide, and Canva. And second literature review is definition and types of English skill. First is definition of writing. According to Wells 2004, writing is the end output after they have learned different pace of writing individually. This step involves of taking notes, identifying the main concept, draft, outlining, and modifying. It suggests that writing is a difficult talent to master. It includes a variety of soft skills that individual must master before generate of sufficient writing. Next is definition of listening. According to Rivers 1966, listening is an artistic skill. It suggests that we comprehend the sound that land on our ears and generate meaning from the raw material of word and the rise and the fall of the voice. The speaker's vocabulary and arrangement must be overcome by the listeners. And according to Ross 2009, listening helps us comprehend our surrounding and is one of the essential components in developing good communication. Next is definition of speaking. Speaking entails exploring ideas, getting something done, subtracting various aspects of the word, or just being together, according to Richard 2008. It suggests that pupils will be more able to articulate and develop their ideas if they can speak effective and fluently. Learning English also helps students stay up to the date on science, technology, and medical issues. Next is definition of reading. According to Michael Lee 2011, reading is a complicated, conscious, and unconscious mental process in which the reader utilizes a range of strategies to reconstruct the meaning intended by the author based on the evidence from the text and past knowledge. Next is research method. First is type of research. This research method chosen for this study is quantitative research. Quantitative research is one of short study in which from the beginning of the study design until the finish, the requirements are rigorous, plain, and explicit arranged. Second is research approach. This study is a descriptive type of research. According to Sugiono 2011, descriptive research is a method that serves to describe the object under study through data or sample that have been collected as they were without conducting analysis and making general conclusion. Next is research result and conclusion. First is according to data, the English student comprehension using online media as a learning instrument in speaking. Data show that 50% really understand, 41.7% understand, and 0% do not understand. Second is the English student comprehension using online media as a learning instrument in listening, task, material, and test. Data show 41.7% really understand, 50% understand, and 8.3% don't understand. Third is the English student comprehension using online media as a learning instrument in reading, task, material, and test. Data show 41.7% really understand, 54.2% understand, and 4.2% don't understand. And the last is the English student comprehension using online media as a learning instrument in writing, task, material, or test. Data show that 60.7% really understand, 33.3% understand, and 0% did not understand. And the last of my paper is conclusion. Based on the data, research, and discussions that earlier in this study, it can be concluded that the use of online media as the main instrument of learning influence the understanding of English student, where the majority still understand and are very understand with English skill, namely listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And I think that's all from me. Sorry for my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Putri, it's yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today I will present my paper, and the title is The Involvement of Social Media in Facilitating the English Language Learning of Adults Learning. Okay, I will start the introduction. Introduction. Social media has become an integral part of the life of adults. Adults learners utilize social media as a tool to enhance their academic English language skill. English teachers currently encourage their adult students to incorporate technology to their learning process. These learners are driven to use social media applications and tools to improve their language skill abilities. By using social media platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, blogs, YouTube, Twitter, Telegram, and Snapchat, learners are able to communicate with friends, family, and the global community, making the learning process more efficient and effective for both instructor and learners worldwide. Technological advancements have enabled EFL learner to easily access social media applications and tools through electronic devices like smartphone, tablets, laptop, and watches. Various mobile apps for EFLL have also been developed by international testing agency and institute, making them available worldwide. Adult learner can master specific language skill while using these social media apps, but it is essential to use them carefully and accurately. If handled with care, social media can prove to be a blessing and remedy for adult learner both in and outside of the classroom. Next. Okay, the next is literature review. Social media comprises website, web links, intranets, apps, and any net-based link, including Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Messenger, Skype, as well as various other apps related to online English teaching and learning, such as British Council, Writer, Speaker, Edmodo, Duolingo, and Podcast. Science, their inceptions. The social sites have become the most popular website and apps on college campus worldwide. As a result of their proliferation and growing popularity, the subject of social networking has become a whispered idea and concern for both ESL instructor and adult learner. On social media, adult learner can access any desired information and knowledge with just a click. Okay, first is the English language learning of adults learner. The English language learning of adults learner refers to the process of acquiring and developing proficiency in the English language by individuals who are over the age of 18. This may include a range of language skills such as speaking, listening, reading, and writing, as well as understanding of English grammar and vocabulary. And the next is social media. Social media refers to a collection of internet-based platforms and tools that allow individuals to create, share, and engage user-generated content and information with other users. The next is teaching English. Teaching English refers to the process of instructing individuals in the English language. This may include a range of language skills such as understanding of English grammar and vocabulary. Teaching English can take place in variety of contexts, including schools, universities, language center, and private tutoring session. The aim of teaching English is develop learners' language proficiency and enable them to communicate effectively in English. The next is teaching adult. Teaching adults, also known as adults education, is the process of instructing and guiding individuals who are beyond the traditional age of compulsory education. And the last is English learning facilities. English learning facilities refers to research, materials, tools, and technologies that support and enhance the process of learning the English language. These facilities can be physical or virtual, and they are designed to meet the needs of English language learners at different levels of proficiency, age, and context. Next, please. Okay, and the next is methodology. The methodology is focused on the methodological and impartial analysis of monitored observations with the aim of creating generalization, principles, and forecasts of events utilizing a descriptive and evaluative research methodology. This research utilizes deductive reasoning, personal experience, mass opinion, and scientific inquiry to investigate descriptive, correlation, explanatory, and exploratory objective with the objective of obtaining new knowledge and current information about the step-by-step role of social media in EFL for adults learner. Next, please. Okay, the next is a result and discussion. The first is pedagogical principles of EL skills through the social media. Social media enables communication by facilitating the sharing of current information, documents, photos, videos, novel ideas, thought, interests, and recommendation among virtual communities and networks. Social media usability challenges traditional models and keeps away tools and elements associated with the long-standing way of teaching and learning English language EL skills. The second is role of social media in EL skills. Social media is essential for adult learners who want to acquire EL skills because it offers valuable opportunities to enhance their learning, speaking, reading, writing, and other related skills. By using social media, learners can read new text and learn new phrases to improve their communicative vocabulary. And the last is apps and websites for EL skills. Nowadays, it is essential for individuals to acquire EL skills to stay informed about global issues and local social developments, leading to an improved personal and professional life. There are numerous distinct tools and apps accessible for second language EL learners that can aid in mastering EL and enhancing language skills. Next, please. Okay, then the last is conclusion. The study emphasizes the importance of social media in ELL for adults learners by utilizing Web 20 practice and technology tools that have been customized to meet the present demands of ELL. The utilization of social media in this type of ESLL for adults learner is considered to be more sophisticated and advanced compared to traditional teaching method. By learning social English through social media, learners can fully comprehend the cultural contents within their local and digital communities, which could foster and desire the learners. That's it from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll give back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Arisha Putri, for the speech. The next, Amalia Nur Aziza, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Putri. Now I would like to present my research paper. Let me introduce myself. My name is Amalia Nur Aziza, with student ID 22232000005. So the title for my study is Exploring Students' Experience of Learning to Design H5P Activities for Teaching Listening Skill. Next slide, please. Okay, today I would like to explain several things. The first is introduction, the second statement of the problem, the third research objective, next literature review, the fifth methodology, the sixth result of the study, and the last is conclusion. Next slide. Okay, the first is introduction. This is the background of my study. So listening is essential for effective communication and learning in everyday life, and teachers should prioritize it more. However, teaching listening skill can be challenging due to various factors such as fear, unfamiliar accent, and limited vocabulary. To overcome these challenges, the use of innovative and effective teaching approaches is essential. H5P is an open platform that can be used to create interactive activities and assessment to enhance students' listening skill. While several studies have shown the effectiveness of H5P in language classes, there is limited research on how students learn to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. Understanding how students learn to create H5P activities can help us identify the difficulties they face and develop strategies to overcome them. Next slide, please. And here there is the statement of the problem based on the background of this study. So the research question can be written as how do students experience learning to design interactive H5P activities for teaching listening skill. Next. The research objective include the first is to explore students' perception and attitude toward the use of H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The second, to identify the factors that influence students' motivation and engagement in the process of learning to design H5P activities. And the third, to understand the challenges that students face. And the last, to identify strategies for overcoming these challenges. Next slide. So here is the literature review. H5P is a plugin that allows creators to make and share engaging content such as presentation, interactive video, game, quizzes, and more using existing publishing system. And then several H5P tools for designing interactive listening activity include interactive video recording, virtual tours, quizzes, yellow card, fill in the blank, interactive presentation, memory game, crossword, and dictation. Listening skill, according to Gilakjani and Ahmadi 2011, define listening as an active process that involves paying attention, interpreting, remembering, and responding to verbal and nonverbal communication from other people. And design, the principle of instructional design provides a set of guidelines for creating effective learning experiences. Next slide, please. So here there is the methodology. The first is research design. This study applies a qualitative research approach with phenomenological type. Phenomenology is a way of studying and understanding how people experience and perceive the world around them. It is a qualitative research method that focuses on exploring the essence of human experiences. And then here there is the participant selection. This study uses purposive sampling, which involves selecting participants based on specific criteria that are relevant to the research question. The criteria include first student who took the course management system class at University Jambi in 2022, and the second student who have completed their final project of designing H5P activities for teaching English in the course management system class at University Jambi in 2002. In the end, there are 10 participants met the criteria required. And then the next is research instrument. This study used 3 methods to collect data: questionnaire, interview, and document analysis. And the last here, there is data analysis. This study applied thematic analysis, which is a way of qualitative research that look for themes or patterns in a set of data. Next slide, please. The next, there is the result of the study. So the first here, students' perception and attitude toward the use of H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The statements, overall, the statements suggest that the participants have mixed perception and attitude toward using H5P for teaching listening skill. While some participants appreciate the interactive nature of H5P and its potential to increase student engagement in the learning process, other participants find it challenging to use, especially for beginners who are learning to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. However, the statement also emphasizes the need for adequate training and support to help users overcome the initial difficulties in using H5P and to fully realize its potential benefit, including increased student engagement and fun learning process. These findings are consistent with the previous research that say using technology in education can be difficult at first, but it can also help students to be more interested and learn better. According to Almari, 2012 found that educational technology has been found to have a positive impact on student learning and achievement. The second is a factor that influence student motivation and engagement in the process of learning to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The first is instructional design factor. Having clear objective for designing H5P activities to teach listening skill can motivate and engage students in the learning process. It helps them understand what they need to achieve and stay on track. And the second is learning environment factor. The learning environment highlight how motivated and engaged students are when learning to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. This includes things like group dynamic. The participant had a problem with a group member who couldn't contribute much to the project because of a personal commitments out of the class. This made the participant frustrated and demotivated. And then the next is feedback factor. The feedback factor described in the statement or participant highlight the importance of receiving feedback from peers and teachers to improve the design of H5P project. Participants emphasize the importance of listening to the feedback and using it to revise and improve their H5P activities. Feedback can come from students, peers, or other educator and can provide valuable insight into the strength and weakness of the activity design. Participants also note that feedback can be motivating and inspire them to try new H5P tool and apply them to their design. Overall, feedback is an essential factor in improving the effectiveness and quality of H5P activities for teaching listening skill. These findings are consistent with the previous research on student motivation and engagement in the learning process. According to Desi and Ryan, self-determination theory, in 2002, students are more engaged and motivated when they feel in control, capable, and connected. Next slide, please. And then the third is the challenges that students face when learning to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The first is technical challenges. These are related to the issue with hardware, network, or software such as slow laptop or network, difficulty accessing the application, or the need to spend time creating content. And then the second is learning challenges. Participants in this study reported facing several challenges related to understanding and applying the learning material
when designing H5P activities for teaching listening skill, such as lack of understanding in the instruction or explanation, difficulty in creating engaging content, difficulty in finding free resources, difficulty in adjusting to using H5P, and time consuming. These findings are consistent with previous research about challenges faced by students in technology-enhanced learning environment. Early in 2002, identified two types of barrier. First order barrier that are external to teacher, such as lack of access, time, support, resources, and training. And the second order barriers that are internal to the teacher, such as attitude, belief, practice, and resistance. And the last is the strategies to overcome challenges faced. Overall, the strategies used by students to overcome challenges in designing H5P activities for teaching listening skill can be categorized into four themes: passion and collaboration, seeking help, persistence, and self-learning, and learning from others. Students reported being patient and collaborating with others to overcome technical challenges, seeking help from various sources to overcome both technical and learning challenges, investing time and effort in self-learning and conducting more research, and learning from others who are proficient in using H5P. These findings suggest that a combination of these strategies can be effective in overcoming challenges and improving the design of H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The result provides several studies that support this finding, such as the study on designing opportunities for transformation with emerging technologies by Valencianos in 2011, and another study difficulties and benefit of using learning technology in adult education by Zen in 2019, and a study about improving communication, teamwork, community, and problem-solving skill in online technical communication program by Slattery 2021. Next slide, please. So here we come to the last is conclusion. In conclusion, this study investigated the experiences of students in learning how to design H5P activities for teaching listening skill. The findings suggest that while students have mixed perception and attitude toward using H5P, it has the potential to increase student engagement and improve learning outcome. However, students may encounter technical and learning challenges when using H5P, which can be overcome by seeking help, collaborating with others, being patient, persisting, and learning from peers. The study also identified instructional design, learning environment, and feedback as important factor in enhancing student engagement and motivation. Providing clear design objective, creating an interesting and relevant learning environment, and giving feedback can all contribute to motivating and engaging students in the learning process. Additionally, by using a variety of different resources and techniques, teacher can improve students' learning and encourage them to take more control over their own learning process. This approach promotes self-regulated learning and help to create more inclusive and diverse classroom environment. That's all from me. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Amalia Nuraziza, for your speech. We're next to the last presenter, Nada Sof Kamila. The time is yours.
Iya, emang. Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nada Sofa Kamila, and my student number is 22232000036. Now I will presentation my paper about effect of teaching grammar on writing. Next slide, please. Okay, for the first is introduction. Grammar is considered to be an essential component of language learning and writing skill. Writing is one of the most important skills that students should master as it is a tool for communication, self-expression, and reflection. However, writing effectively requires students to use grammar accurately and appropriately. Therefore, it is important for teachers to find a balance between teaching grammar and encouraging student creativity and critical thinking skills. Research has shown that teaching grammar can have a positive effect on writing skill. According to Zarowska, 2019, incorporating grammar instruction into writing lesson can improve the quality of student writing by enhancing their ability to express their ideas clearly and accurately. Similarly, Lee and Lee 2020 found that explicit grammar instruction improves student writing fluency, accuracy, and complexity. In conclusion, the effect of teaching grammar on writing skills are complex and multifaceted. While some studies have shown the benefits of incorporating grammar instruction into writing lessons, others have continued against affirming grammar at the expense of creativity and critical thinking. Therefore, it is important for teachers to adopt a balanced approach that integrates grammar instruction with other aspects of reading to enhance student writing abilities. Next. For the second is statement of problem. The relationship between grammar instruction and writing skill has been a topic of ongoing debate among doctors and research. To fully understand the impact of teaching grammar on writing, it is important to explore the potential benefit and drawbacks of incorporating grammar instruction into writing lesson. Therefore, the statement of problem for this research is to investigate the impact of teaching grammar on writing skills and to identify how teacher can find a balance between incorporating grammar instruction and promoting creativity and critical thinking in writing lesson. For the next is literature review. First, grammar. Grammar is a fundamental aspect of language learning and is often considered the backbone of communication. It refers to written sentence grammar, includes the study of syntax or word order, clause and phrase structure, and the classification of parts of speech. Can be defined as a rules to generate grammatically acceptable sentence. The second is teaching grammar. Scholars generally agree that teaching grammar can be beneficial if done in moderation and in the context of meaningful language tasks. It is important for educators to balance grammar instruction with creative language activities that promote critical thinking and communication skills. The key to effective grammar instruction is to strike a balance between explicit teaching and contextualist practice, allowing learners to develop their language skills in a holistic manner. And the last is written composition. By written composition, I mean extended piece of writing in handwriting, in type or via word processing in a variety of genres or text types. In focusing on accuracy, we mean to place emphasis on appropriateness of grammatical form for particular purposes. And the next is frame of thinking. The subject of the research, the teacher carries out the learning process regarding the implementation of grammar in writing according to grammar rules, then testing student writing skill after attending a grammar class through a questionnaire containing writing ability test question. After that, analyzing the accuracy of using grammar in student answer and then drawing conclusion. And the last is methodology. This research is a quantitative research using survey method. Research subjects were students who were sampled by random sampling method. Meanwhile, the instrument used as a data collection tool consisted of 30 grammar test questions and 10 writing ability test questions. Meanwhile, the statistical analysis used is descriptive statistical analysis and inferential statistic. Hypothesis testing is done by using correlation analysis with the product moment formula to find the magnitude of the relationship between variables. The participants were teachers and students, English in 32 different mixed comprehensive schools in the southwest and the middle region of England. In each school, a class of year 8 students, aged 12 until 30, formed the sample for the randomized control trial. In order to avoid selection bias or Cook and Way 2002, the school sample was secured by using local authority data to compile a number list of all mixed comprehensive schools in the Southwest and the Midlands. A random number generator was used to determine a rank order. and each school was approached in turn until the desired sample of 32 was researched. Baseline data about participants were collected at school, teacher, and student level. At school level, data were complete on national examination performance, school inspection outcomes, ethnic diversity, special educational needs, and number of students entitled to free school meals or as a proxy for socio-economic status. At teacher level, data were collected on years of teaching experience, degree, subject studied, and gender. In addition, teacher participants undertook a test of grammatical subject knowledge at the start of the study, and the scores were used as further baseline data. Student data, campus gender, whether they were students with English as an additional language or entitled to free school meals. Attainment data in English were also collected, drawing on standard national test results in English at age 11 or including both a writing raw score and writing level and school prediction of English result in national test at age 14. Okay, I think is enough for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Nada Sofa Kamila, as the last presenter in this room. I think enough for our presentation today, and thank you for your participation and your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone.